What's up, everyone? It's Gilberto Torres Jr. here with another video for Torres Boxing. If you're a boxing fan, then I strongly encourage you to subscribe to this channel, to hit the bell icon to receive notifications on future content, to follow us on Instagram at Torres Boxing, and follow the website at torresboxing.com. But guys, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're having a great day so far. And I wanted to just give my quick thoughts on Keith Thurman's recent win over Josecito Lopez. This was on Fox TV this past Saturday. Keith Thurman, one time, he made his return back to the boxing ring after 22 months out of the ring. Of course, he had a right shoulder injury that he had to get surgically repaired. I think he had problems with his left hand. So he's been going through it ever since his victory, his split decision victory over Danny Garcia in 2017. That was back in March of 2017, so he's back. And the person he fought was Josecito Lopez, and Josecito Lopez fought a game fight. Coming into the fight, I know that Lopez was the underdog. He even acknowledged it himself. He knew he was the underdog, but I knew that he was going to come into this fight motivated. I knew he was going to come in determined to get the victory. He wasn't just there to pick up a paycheck. He wasn't just there to be there. He was gonna try and win. And you know, sometimes you get the sense from fighters, what fighter's gonna show up on fight night. Some really don't give you an impression that they're there to really win, that they have a fire in them to want to win. Others, like Lopez, do show you that, and that's exactly what I got from Lopez. And that's exactly what we got on fight night. Coming into the fight, Keith Thurman, in the first rounds, he looked very good. He looked sharp, and I was impressed because I didn't see any ring rust from him. To be honest with you, I saw Keith Thurman through 5-6 rounds looking very good. He was sharp. He was landing combinations. He was quick, and he looked very good. He looked very precise in his attack, and he was getting the better of Lopez. However, the 7th round, that's when Lopez got off, and he just completely unloaded with a flurry of punches that sent Thurman reeling to the ropes. Thurman stayed on the move, but man, Lopez was landing some heavy shots that had Thurman's head bouncing backwards, and it looked like it was almost over. I know I was watching it, and I said, man, it's about to be over. I cannot believe we're about to see an upset like this. Josecito Lopez is about to beat Keith Thurman. But again, Keith Thurman stayed on the move and was able to weather the storm. And after that, Keith Thurman decided to stay on his bike and move around a lot more. Now, granted, he did punch. He did let his hands go. It wasn't as severe as someone painted that, you know, he was completely running away from Lopez. He was on the move. He's a boxer. But he was also putting some shots in there, enough to secure him the victory, because the first 6 rounds, you know, I think were all Thurman's. The 7th and a couple others probably were a little closer. Some could, you know, clearly the 7th could be given to Lopez, but Thurman did get a victory, and I know a judge had it 113 for a draw. Honestly, I didn't see it that way, but it was a majority draw in Thurman's favor. So the Super WBA champion, welterweight champion, now is back into the ring. He's back in the mix. And before I go on any further with Keith Thurman, I do want to give Josecito Lopez his props, man. This guy came to fight, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, he showed heart. He showed that he really wanted the victory. He had an impressive moment in there, and you know, I know the loss is tough, but nothing but respect to Lopez, who really put on a great effort on Saturday night. And I know that his stock is going to rise after this, and with the tutelage of Robert Garcia, I think he's going to get better too. That's going to help him. And Lopez did drop down to his record right now, stands at 36 victories and 8 losses. So we'll see what's next for Lopez. But Keith Thurman improves 29-0 with 22 knockouts. In his post-fight interview, he said, he'd welcome rematches with Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. And he specifically called out the WBA regular champion, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, of course, was in action last week against Adrian Broner on the 19th, and he holds the secondary version of the WBA's title. And that's who Keith Thurman wants. And I have to say that I think everyone, all the welterweights, all the top welterweights, have shown a level of respect towards Pacquiao. For example, Keith Thurman, they asked him, "Hey Thurman, is it true that Pacquiao didn't want that fight with you?" Thurman said, "You know what? Pacquiao is a legend. He's done it all in the sport. At this stage, he has every right to do what he wants to do and fight whoever he wants to fight." You know, he didn't talk down to Manny Pacquiao. He didn't say, "Yeah, he was ducking me. He doesn't want any smoke." He said, "You know what? He can do whatever he wants." Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, when asked about a potential fight with Manny Pacquiao, they've all been respectful. They've acknowledged the fact that they want to fight with him. They would welcome such a fight, but they've had a respectful tone. Thurman, on the other hand, this past weekend was a little bit had a stronger tone. I saw a video where he was saying Pacquiao's, you know, 2 feet tall, you know, talking down to him, and I thought, man, that's disrespectful. That's, you know, that's not cool, right? But you know, I know he's actually actively going after that fight. So that's the fight that Thurman wants. He wants Pacquiao. He said if he can't get Pacquiao, then he'll, you know, welcome other fights. But he even said that he would even fight Pacquiao in the Philippines. And of course, Pacquiao has been vocal about wanting his last fight to be in his home country of the Philippines. So hey, you never know. We could see Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman in the Philippines in the Legends Farewell fight, and I think that would be an exceptional fight. Now, Keith Thurman's performance, I know that he was rocked there in the 7th round. I know that some people are saying, "Oh, you know what? Pacquiao's going to completely dominate this version of Thurman." Errol Spence, man, he would destroy him. Errol Spence would have had him out. Any top welterweight would have had Thurman out of there in the 7th round. And okay, you know, let's say, for example, let's assume, yes, they would have had him out. And I give props to Josecito Lopez. He did an exceptional job. But let's also be realistic and remember that this was Keith Thurman's first fight back in the ring after a 22-month layoff. So he's been gone for nearly 2 years. I remember when Mikey Garcia made his return to the ring after almost 3 years with Elio Rojas. You know, he looked rusty in his first few rounds. I know the fight didn't last long. I think I don't know what round he finished it, but he looked a little rusty in my opinion. You know, obviously the second, third fights, he started to look sharper. He looks in great shape now. Keith Thurman looked good for those first 6 rounds. And again, he's coming back from a long layoff. So I'm interested to see what's next for Keith Thurman. I know that he's going to get a little bit better in his next fight. How does a fight with Manny Pacquiao go? You know, I'll make a separate video for that, but I think that it would be a competitive affair. I think that a fight between Pacquiao and the Thurman, or at least a little bit of the Thurman that we saw from this past Saturday, I think Pacquiao has a good chance of winning, as does Thurman. I'm not going to say that Thurman doesn't have a chance. I think it would be highly competitive. Thurman is definitely a great fighter. He's young. He's still in his prime. He's a great puncher, and it would be an exciting fight. I know that he would let his hands go. I would think so, more than Broner did. So we'll see what's next. I think that would be an exciting fight. You know, it's crazy because at some point I didn't want to see Pacquiao continue fighting on. You know, I remember that, you know, the only fight I would have wanted to see him fight would have been a Jeff Horn rematch to avenge that controversial loss, which really shouldn't even be like that, but we all know what happened. But the Pacquiao that we saw on Saturday against Broner, I think he still looked really good. Clearly, he's not who he once was. That's understandable with age. Nobody's going to have a permanent heyday. But he looked really good. He still looked fast, and his legs are still there to a certain extent. He can still move around the ring. He still lets his hands go enough to get him points on the cards, and he earns his opponent's respect. He keeps them honest. So a fight between Thurman and Pacquiao, I think would be a great fight at this point. That's if Pacquiao can't get the Floyd Mayweather rematch. And again, Pacquiao, even though, I think his fans would want to see him retire, he's done it all in the sport. He's adamant about fighting on, and if he wants to fight the best, Thurman is a great fight there. Because Thurman is considered one of the best welterweights in the world today. So we'll see what happens, guys. Like I said, I'll make another video talking about that. But for now, Keith Thurman did pick up a successful win against a game Josecito Lopez. He improves to 29-0 with 22 knockouts. So we'll see what's next for him. It's going to be exciting. He did great. Him and Lopez did some great numbers on Fox TV. Viewership, they had an audience, I think it was a peak audience of 2.7 million viewers, somewhere around that range. So tremendous drawing power that Thurman has. This guy, he's a star, and I know he's had solid numbers in his last outings on primetime TV. So we'll see what's next, guys. But go ahead and let me know your thoughts on Thurman's performance. I know that this somewhat of a review is a little bit late, but hey, it's better late than never, right? So I went ahead and shared my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think on the comment section. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow Torres Boxing on Instagram and the website at torresboxing.com. So until next time, guys, God bless you and have a great rest of your day.